seeing us right now literally kind of makes me emotional, honestly. Because for these past days, we've been putting in so much work. And I just feel really proud of us from everything that, all the things and challenges that has tested us. It's like I'm seeing us evolve and becoming something that we've never really embraced before.
Truly embraced.
And I'm so proud of us, how we are giving ourselves grace for becoming someone we have never been before. And that self we haven't been before is ultimately standing and owning our truth, being unapologetic in our own energy, and not taking craziness and accepting that into our lives, It's really us being one with self, and being intentional, making sure that we listen to our intuition and listen to ourselves. This recent process has been really enlightening, really healing, really grounding, and it's been a beautiful journey and very divine, even though in times we may not have even recognized it. Ultimately, I feel like we've always recognized it. I feel like we are very intuitive to where we know everything is divine, but to be embracive of the journey it's a beautiful feeling.
It is.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. I feel like I show so much gratitude to the solitude and
My goodness.
the isolation that we have.
Yes.
And are embracing and that we are experiencing and loving, because in that sense and space of like isolation and just kind of locking in with yourself, sitting in that solitude is where the creativity emerges, is where the silence
awakens you,
and like your mind, you're able to think, you're able to create, you're able to be at peace and hear and have more clarity on different things. And it allows you to connect with your higher self. And I feel like this is such a grounding period for us.
for sure.
In the most best way, because I feel myself evolving and I feel a lot of my senses heightening spiritually. And I just show so much gratitude for our spiritual alignment, to our isolation, to our solitude, to our inner standing, to our peace that we are protecting, to our presence that we are preserving. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to feel like, wow, I am actually stepping into this new realm of acceptance and awareness.
Oh my gosh,
And
Asia.
It just
Let me
feels
tear
so
up.
good. And
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even been on social media in a while.
Yeah.
Honestly, almost going on a month to where I have just not actively been on social media. And I remember the last time I went on a hiatus like this was before I entered college. And we were off social media for 5 months. And the peace, the inner knowledge and wisdom that I was gaining, consuming during that time period, was so life-changing. And I feel that same energy flowing in. And it's a beautiful experience to be able to sit still and be with self and analyze self and to learn to love yourself. I feel like we are honestly experiencing a rebirth within ourselves and starting over from scratch and building ourselves up in this sense of isolation. And I cherish and I appreciate each and every moment, each and every second of it. And I feel very liberated coming out of a state of space where I didn't feel I was at my highest self. I didn't feel as if I had enough self-trust that I built within myself. And it was so crazy coming to in that sense of acceptance, because like for a long time I've been putting in so much work into loving myself and learning myself, and then you realize at one point, like, wait, are you actually loving yourself truly, unapologetically, like, and that's where that reset happens. And the reset is painful, but it's beautiful because it's breaking you apart and building you up stronger, brick by brick by brick. And I just show gratitude to the good, the bad, the ugly, and honestly, all of it is so divine. And I release and I let go of anything that no longer serves me on this journey. And I think 2025, no, I don't think, I know. What Sukiana said, I don't think, I know. And I know that 2025 is going to be so blessed and abundant for our lives with the knowledge that we are taking in this isolation and solitude.
Ashe. Every day, I recognize that we birth a more honest version of ourselves. And I believe that comes with new experiences, but us being open to allow these new experiences to really teach us and not allow it to define us, but allow it to be in the flow and really recognize that, you know, everything that comes into your life is necessary, is divine, and I feel like what we do is alchemize those challenges, we alchemize those changes. And within this space and within this time, I've been able to really just recognize the evolved selves and versions of ourselves that we are now embracing. And I think one of the most challenging things has been the embrace. But as we really sit with self, we don't react, we sit with self, and by us doing that has allowed us to really just show gratitude to who we are becoming in our evolved state, and not repeating these cycles. Because I was just listening to AJ McQueen. He was like, if you want to be real, you got to heal. And I'm like, as I practice these new stages of my life, as I go through these new changes, I recognize I am becoming the more honest and real version of myself. It's just been so insightful, because I feel as though for the past year after graduating last year, we really just spent a lot of time in solitude, and we really isolated ourselves. And then as we go back out gradually towards the mid of the year, we were now reintroduced with more experiences, right? So now it's like we are starting over. We had a year of isolation to where now we're, you know, putting our toe back in
and having to relearn ourselves,
right. Having to rediscover and recognize who we are. And that all came with acceptance. It's like we accepted who we were in this stage, we are accepting who we were in this now stage, and it's really transformative to really hold and grasp that concept, because I think a lot of the times in the past we probably struggled with that. We probably had like, oh, why was I beating ourselves up? And in this now present stage, we don't do that. We let go, we accept, we embrace. We don't overthink anymore. We be, and we have embraced being water, you know. And I think to see where we are now, and I'm gonna eliminate that word, to think, no, to be where we are now has been the most rewarding experience, because we have now called all our energy back to us. You know what I'm saying? We're not having these sleepless nights, and what we are doing is now we are using this solitude. We have had this alchemized energy and transmuted our energy to where now we are creating, and creating literally awakens our soul. We wake up in the middle of the night. Are you up? Waking up in the middle of the night, wanting to create, having this idea, having deep and meaningful conversations about our future, about our present, about our past, and allowing that to really fuel us. It's fueling our energy. Right. We are excited about the future. We are excited about our present, and we show gratitude to our past, because we recognize if none of these circumstances or none of these experiences ever happened, we wouldn't be where we are right now. We wouldn't be grasped in the consciousness that we are right now.
Exactly.
It's super exciting because starting off this year, we have that sense of excitement. We have that sense of drive and that high to create and to really pursue the most optimal version of ourselves.
Right. I think the beauty.
So grateful.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a gratitude or gratification type of experience.
Yeah.
If you will. And like, I think the biggest thing about this embrace of solitude and isolation is honestly the forgiveness of self. Like,
yeah.
if we're just completely summing up everything,
yes,
it's just the forgiveness of self and embracing the forgiveness of self and embracing that new beginning that you're going to experience for releasing pain, releasing resentment, releasing any burden, releasing any guilt. And it's like a purification process that you have to go through. Like, you're purifying your mind, body, soul, and spirit through this like initiation of like a rebirth, and truly accepting that rebirth and embracing it and not fearing it is the point of enlightenment, spiritual enlightenment and growth that I feel this journey of isolation and self-forgiveness has been so freeing to actually analyze, to actually sit in, to be whole with ourselves and honest with yourself. Like, that is what this energy has been.
Yeah.
And it was scary. it was a roller coaster. But once you reach that point of acceptance into the forgiving, the healing of yourself, and it's just such a beautiful process to be able to embrace. Like, I just show gratitude to it. Isolation is beautiful. Solitude. I seen this thing, it said isolation equals elevation, and I truly feel that in the midst of our isolation, we have been elevating.
Yeah.
Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally.
Yes.
Like, those are all of the things that truly feels in alignment with this rebirth of self. And I feel like this is such a divine time that this energy is shifting within us, conspiring in us, honestly, with this energy of 2025.
For sure.
And it's just so divine and graceful, and gratitude for these experiences, for being honest with self, having to be honest with self, having to release and let go, and making sure throughout any challenges or trials and tribulations, making sure that your heart remains light as a feather.
Yes.
And always going back to that rule of ma'at. You know, like, because at the end of the day, we have to weigh these scales. And life is all about lessons. We're learning each and every day. Even when you think you know so much, you're always going to be tested with the knowledge that you retain. And it's okay if you don't show up for yourself the first time or the second time, but like, as long as you are making sure you're making progression and you're actually trying to take in learning from your mistakes, I think that as long as you're doing as long as you're trying to do at least 1% better than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, just giving yourself grace, and it's okay to feel like you have to start over. It's okay if you feel like you're having to relearn yourself or re-love yourself and all these other things. It's okay. This is the year of a rebirth. This is the year of destruction. This is the year of liberation and all these amazing things. This is the 9th year. Things have to come down in order to build ourselves up, and I feel like this is honestly the energy that we are feeling and the energy that is ushering in. We see it in the world, and it's reflecting our inner. So, gratitude.
Asia and I was having a conversation the other night, and it really made me think of as above, so below. Because as we're seeing these wildfires happening in LA, and just the new chaos in the world, I'm like, this is a this is a firing energy, and I feel like we are reflecting that in the inside. We are all elevating in some way. There's an old part of ourselves that is dying, it's going away, and I think that we are all dying in some aspect of our life that is helping us rebuild. And like she said, we are in the year of the 9. This is all about the closing, the rebirthing, new beginnings, and shedding all of that old energy away. It's like the Ouroboros. What it feels, it's infinite. You know, you have to go through these cycles, you have to go through these changes and experiences. And I feel that resonance, we feel that resonance within our lives. We feel that burning, that hunger, that all that evolved self. But within that evolved self, we have recognized that our old self has to die out. Has to die. It had to. It did. And it's so, and this is why we are showing, this is why we feel so much gratitude, because we recognize that old energy has been wiped away. That old self, that old thinking, that old sense of unelevated self, that mindset has been gone. It's gone. And we are now being able to embrace that new evolved energy. And it's super rewarding. It's literally, we recognize that there's so much, the grass is greener on the other side, you know? And after all this pain, this hurt, betrayal, X, Y, and Z, all these things, it's like, there's light on this side. When you recognize we are reflections of the universe, we are reflections of nature, it's divine. It's a cycle. It's necessary, right? It's in order for us to be this way, for us to really go in the flow, being able to release and let go. This is what the world is teaching us right now. And in that inner world within ourselves, we are experiencing that. So where we are today, we really wanted to just share our dialogue. We wanted to give dialogue. We wanted to really just be expressive and intentional with where we are. And I think, and how we feel, and also just documenting the shifts in our minds as we are entering this new energy. I feel like we have been on such a, what do you call that? We have been creating new habits every day for self-evolvement, like evolving self. And it's been a consistent thing. And it's just so beautiful to see, like, my old self, I feel like I used to procrastinate on different things, but to see me like, every day, we gotta get it. Yeah. And also prioritizing rest as well. It's just been such a beautiful thing to see that shift that you have to make into yourself. Like, you are the only one that's going to be able to pick yourself up and allow yourself to do what you need to do. So truly embracing that has been a beautiful thing as well. And I think just documenting this experience of our rebirth, or just how we feel within the day, is really important to do. Because I always want to be able to look back and be like, wow, I remember at this moment, like, you know. We have our journals, you know, like our journal that we can reflect on, but having that visual representation and seeing your authentic emotion, your expression throughout, and your energy throughout the whole senses, it's really good. It's really great. But we are in the becoming. We are in the Maximus stage. We are becoming in that Maximus stage. Yes. And we show gratitude. All has been love. All has been light. Recognizing that, you know, all is just projections of where we are mentally, physically, and all around us are visual manifestations, physical manifestations of thoughts. And so as we digest that, we have become more conscious and intentional as to what energy we want to emit, as we recognize literally all our physical manifestations of thought. So we are becoming and being intentional as to what it is that we are projecting. And it's not as if we are doing this for the care of others, but doing it for the care of ourselves, for the care of birthing something beautiful within us, the return of something. Because for some time, it feels as though we have lost that. We've isolated and we've taken time to really recognize and regain that sense of consciousness that we feel like we once lost. So it's a beautiful energy that we sit in now, because the veils have been pushed back, and it's like, Asian Amber, you know who you are? Clock. Right? So we have awakened, and it's awakened a new and healthier and honest, loving version of ourselves. We show gratitude, and our hearts are filled with love, excitement, creativity, passion, just a new evolved self.
Yeah. It's a rebirth. It's a rebirth. It's a rebirth. It's a rebirth. Yes.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.